Dolphins fans, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that big red button and subscribe to the best Miami Dolphins channel on YouTube. Look, we're going to keep it real with you all throughout the season, including on today's video where we're just going to have to talk about the cold hard truth about Tua Tagovailoa. Hit that big red button and subscribe to the best Miami Dolphins channel on YouTube right here on Miami Dolphins Today. How's it going, everybody? Welcome into Miami Dolphins Today. I am your host, RC Maxfield, and, well, I wasn't planning on doing another video this week because, well, we've had the preview out, but why the hell not with this Tua Tagovailoa news coming out? And I think it's just time to keep it real, get expectations back to reality here and not trying to live in a dreamland when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa. So here is what we know about the Dolphins quarterback. Suffered a fractured ribs, against the Buffalo Bills. He will miss week 3 and not play at the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the biggest question I have with this is, and I think that this should be the question a lot of Dolphins fans have, and I think it is, just looking off of Dolphins Twitter, are the series of injuries that Tua has had throughout his whole football career now a concern? Looking at the injuries he's had just dating back to Alabama, this does not include his injuries in high school or anything like that. Not trying to put that evil on this man, but this is Power 5 power program in Alabama right here, right? And we're talking about the pros as well. These are some of the injuries he's had that have required surgery. Look at this. Broken finger, required surgery. 2 ankle surgeries right there. Major hip injury, required surgery. The thumb injury didn't require surgery, but maybe these fractured ribs do right now. Who knows? We don't know how long he's going to be out. It's a day-to-day thing according to Brian Flores, but day-to-day with fractured ribs could mean weeks. Looking at Tua Tagovailoa in his stats so far as an NFL quarterback, nothing's inspiring here, right? We're just going to be brutally honest about this. He did go 6-3 last year. A lot of people, even in the comments of these videos, have said, I wish they would have brought Ryan Fitzpatrick back. And I don't know if he's the answer, right? But just looking at these numbers, and I get it, it's 12 games. Come at me if you want. He hasn't lived up to the expectations. And when you are a top 10 NFL quarterback in terms of getting drafted there, you have to live up to the expectations early. Right? You have Justin Herbert living up to him. Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, they were just outside the top 10. They lived up to expectations. Joe Burrow was living up to expectations before he got hurt. Now we obviously have to see what the rookies are doing this year, but it's early on. Tua has played in 12 games, and there has not been concrete evidence that he can be the guy. We've talked about it through the offseason where the hype was building, and I was one of those people that was hyping him up because I truly believe that Tua has the talent. The injuries just scared the ever-loving hell out of me when it comes to, can he stay on the field and even produce behind an offensive line that, as I like to say, is abysmal. It's abysmal, simple and plain. So this is what I want to ask you. Are you concerned? Are you concerned Tua's injuries will hold him back from living up to the hype that comes with being one of the best quarterbacks in a generation? That's what he was hyped up to be before this hip injury, right? Tell me down in the comments. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm spamming the Y because with all those injuries that I just put up on the screen, you have to be concerned. I'm not concerned about this offer from BetUS, though. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code Dolphins125 to get the best deposit bonus on the internet today. All you got to do is go set up an account. Let's say you put $100. You get $125 to play with on the site if you use the promo code Dolphins125. Use that $225 that you have on the site now after you use that deposit bonus to bet on your Dolphins or any NFL, college football all season long. BetUS is the best place to sports gamble on the internet. All you got to do, chatsports.com/bet, use the promo code Dolphins125, and you're sitting pretty all season long. Let's go over some top 10 QBs that were injured in college in the past decade or so. Now, I get it. Sam Bradford did not play for the LA Rams. He played for the Rams. That's their new logo. We're going with it. Don't call me out in the comments for that. Jake Locker in 2011. Robert Griffin in 2012. I also could have put Andrew Luck on there, who retired early. Marcus Mariota in 2015. Carson Wentz in 2016. When you look at this, they're all busts, right? Outside of one great Carson Wentz season and Robert Griffin in his rookie year, did these guys ever live up to that hype or the draft billing that they had? I mean, Sam Bradford, number 1 overall pick. Jake Locker, 8th. Robert Griffin, 2nd. Marcus Mariota, 2nd. Carson Wentz, 2nd. Did they ever live up to that? I guess Carson Wentz is still chasing it, but he can't seem to not stay injured, and that's really my point here. The history is there with injured college quarterbacks. If they are injured in college, that will continue into the pros. And if it continues into the pros, they have a difficult time living up to that potential that so many have put upon them. You think about it. Marcus Mariota won a Heisman at Oregon. Jake Locker was phenomenal at Washington. So was Sam Bradford at Oklahoma. Robert Griffin won a Heisman, right? And Carson Wentz was the talk of the college football world when he was at North Dakota State. Same goes for Tua when he was at Alabama. He was the talk of college football, and he would have gone number 1 overall if it wasn't for that hip injury and maybe Joe Burrow having the greatest statistical season for a college quarterback ever. But here we are. He has that history, and it seems like every time you take a quarterback in the top 10 and he has an injury concern coming into it, he never lives up to the hype. It doesn't help, though, when you have an offensive line that is, I'm going back to my favorite word here, abysmal. Abysmal is what they are. You look at this. Austin Jackson has not lived up to that 18th overall selection last season. Kinley, solid at left guard, but you probably want him to be more in a swing role. Dieter moved from guard to center now. Robert Hunt hasn't lived up to that second-round billing. And Jesse Davis, a guy that I was pretty high on after training camp, might be the worst lineman that the Dolphins have right now and is the reason his whiff block hurt Tua. Now, maybe Tua should have gotten up, but at the same time, you can't whip that badly on a rookie in J.J. Espinosa from the Bills. You just can't do it, and it's Espana. Sorry about that. But the QB with injury history and a bad offensive line, this has been a testament throughout the whole NFL history. It is not ideal, and that's what the Dolphins have right now. It is proven over and over again these guys do not succeed, and I don't think this is a critique of Tua Tagovailoa. Guys get injured in this game, right? Some more than others, and that's just unfortunate. It's a part of the game, right? But when it comes down to it, the front office, the head coach, and the offensive coordinator in terms of the offensive line coach as well have to be blamed for this to some degree in terms of not changing scheme or not getting the right personnel in there for Tua to be protected. There is no reason after the draft capital you spent on the offensive lineman that your offensive line is graded out as one of the 3 worst in the NFL through 2 weeks. So who is to blame when it comes to the offensive line? Let me know down in the comments. You got Chris Greer, who I'm probably leaning that way. Brian Flores, type other for O, or O for other. I mean, you got Jean-Pierre up there, type LJ. For me, this is a clear-cut Chris Greer, but I want to know who you're blaming for the offensive line struggles on the Miami Dolphins right now, and really the real reason this offense can't get anything going. Let me know down in the comments. Type those T or CG, type LJ, BF, or other, and name on that other who you are blaming. Listen, I'm getting heated and passionate about this right now. This is what you're going to see all season long right here on the Miami Dolphins Today. Stay in the know and hit that big red button. Miami, 1-1. You get that first win of the season. Awesome. Go into week 3, and you're playing the Raiders. It's up in the air. You're starting Jacoby Brissett. What's going to happen? Well, we don't know, but I'll keep you in the know all season long when that information and news and rumors come out. All you got to do is hit that big red button, and you see that bell? Hit it too to stay in the know a little bit more than your friends on the Miami Dolphins. Getting back to Tua here, I think the question presented at the top of your screen right now, will he ever live up to the hype? I think that's the biggest question right now in terms of, do the Miami Dolphins have regrets with taking Tua Tagovailoa at the 5th overall pick when you had Justin Herbert go 6th? I think that is the biggest telltale sign right here in terms of you have to feel a little bit, why did we go this route now that you know, right? Obviously 2020 right now in terms of you're seeing Herbert succeed. Tua hasn't done that. But from the injury perspective, Herbert would have made more sense. And you look at the other names on this list, Jordan Love, okay, you're not taking him at 5, that makes sense. But Jalen Hurts even, right? In terms of what this offense is currently constructed as, Jalen Hurts would make a little bit more sense, right? Like in terms of you'd rather have Herbert and or Hurts right now just for the sheer fact that from a talent perspective in terms of projecting, Tua has far more upside than Jalen Hurts. I don't think that's a question, but he can't stay on the field, and the offense isn't built for him right now. Jalen Hurts would be perfect in this offense. You think that he's behind an offensive line that's struggling a little bit. Jalen Hurts is a lot more mobile than Tua, has a big arm, can throw deep to Jalen Waddle, could throw deep to Will Fuller, could still hit that intermediate passing routes for Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker. Justin Herbert obviously would be more ideal right now, and this I don't even think is a knock on Tua, right? The injuries are going to happen. when your team doesn't put the surrounding pieces in terms of an offensive line around you and they build outside in, that's not ideal for a young quarterback who's already shown injury concerns his whole career, right? You think about the offensive lineman they could have drafted instead of Jalen Waddle. Obviously, Penei Sewell comes to mind at the 7th overall pick. You could have drafted him at 6th. Would have made a lot of sense. I would have even been okay with moving back and getting Rashawn Slater, who I think might have been one of the most undervalued players in the whole entire draft. You got Vera Tucker, you got Alex Leatherwood, who struggled, and then you got Christian Darrisaw. Now, Darrisaw is the interesting one to me because, remember, the Dolphins had 2 picks in the first round. What's stopping you from taking Jalen Waddle, and then you take Christian Darrisaw for your offensive line, who is regarded as one of the best offensive linemen in the draft? Actually, probably the 3rd in terms of the tackle position, and then behind Leatherwood, but Leatherwood went ahead because, well, the Raiders are going to Raider. That's just what they do. And this is not a knock on Waddle in terms of, I think Jalen Waddle is a phenomenal talent. But what do the Dolphins need most right now? An offensive line to protect their franchise quarterback, at least at the moment, in Tua Tagovailoa, who has major injury concerns throughout his whole career. Now, at the same time, you need playmakers, and I get that, but you want to have him have time to get to those playmakers. And you already had playmakers on the field in Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Mike Gesicki, Myles Gaskin. Jalen Waddle is awesome. I am not knocking him, but you had to. And I mean, you had to take a tackle there, at least in the first round, whether that was with the Jalen Phillips pick or the Jalen Waddle pick. But instead, you go wide receiver, and then you go linebacker. And it just, hindsight's 2020, obviously, but it hurts right now because you need that stalwart on the offensive line, even if they would have been a rookie. You tell me, though, what do you think the Dolphins' 2021 record will be now that we're a little bit into the season? Tua's hurt with those fractured ribs, not entirely sure when he's going to come back. It's the Jacoby Brissett show for the time being, heading into the Las Vegas Raiders game. I know I gave y'all a lot of information. I know I kind of just tried to shit on Tua right there. I didn't mean to. I'm presenting the facts. That's all I was trying to do. Let me know down in the comments, though, what you think the Dolphins' record will be in 2021 after Tua sustained fractured ribs in Week 2 in a 35-0 loss to their AFC East division rivals, the Buffalo Bills.